I'm GP3, and you're on Soul Searching.
They say you never forget where your soul was born. For me, it was here. Michigan, lakes, rivers, ponds, places where I first felt wonder and freedom, where I swam as a kid and felt something bigger than me holding me up. I'm GP3, a lifelong musician and FM Colorado broadcaster, a curious soul from this earth, just like you. I've been traveling this wild world, highs, lows, shorts and wides, but lately, I've been asking a deeper question. How's your soul?
This week, we're on the path of initiation. We're looking for the call to remember. What an interesting topic. How many of us take a little bit of time once a year, or maybe once a quarter, to do a little life regression, going back in time to the place that you once stood in your most innocent, childlike disposition of wonder? This is what we want to get to on this show, getting back there. Getting back to you. And getting back to you means I got to do me. In the time, and you've heard it, this is the time to be working on the big you. Which has also got a term of unity. And that is what we're going for in this overall timeline. I had planned to do and walk through a presentation of the show, and I decided that it would be a much more fluid situation if I were just to be able to be available and download as a channel and flow with whatever's coming in. On the first path of initiation, we could just get to know each other and introduce ourselves. Hi, I'm GP3. I've been a 40-year musician, touring acts, local bands, the scenes, multiple scenes that have developed over the timeline since the 80s in Southern California through the 90s on tour with sub-pop grunge access and the Grateful Dead, and back home again and build a life and then get back out on the road and find out about a little more about yourself. You know, that's been the journey. I can tell you, and I know that you know, it ain't been easy. The easy part was we didn't understand that we were in a cosmological system with universal principles that are exact. And once you start taking sovereignty, control of self, you start seeing that these numbers work for you. There's some dispositions that have to be addressed and readjusted to get there. It's an opportunity to look at the self and go, hey, how am I doing in this life? What have I been up to? What have I been going into? Why? What was it really that we were doing? What was it that was unfolding? And what was revealing? The revealing part is very hard for humanity. Normally in reveal, they have a tendency to go fight or flight, but in this timeline, each cosmological sign is being picked up on the terms that you're responsible to know your signs information about how you respond or react. I happen to be Aries, and so I decided, well, what would be the one thing that I've experienced where I might have experienced the greatest difficulty? And that was when Aries leans forward, it starts nudging and pushing so hard, but then Aries can get very far ahead of the pack. So I said, well, what's the best me? What's the highest version of me in this space or in any other domain, in any other planet, in any other life, in any other system? The one centralized me, pulled back and reserved, mature to listen, concrete in gaining information, listening to observe, and also channeling the things that come in as a trusted network. I will tell you, in 1992, I had a powerful experience that recentered my life. And there's a series of events that took place from that point on that got me here to this place to be with you. So I'm really grateful for that opportunity. We're going to go into some study work on the show, but I'm going to do a mix. We're going to have an open dissertation, an open channel experience, and then we're also going to have where I just walk people through a series of words where you listen to a dialogue, and in those word flow points, there will be some programming that will assist the initiate on getting on track. And remember, this is about the call to remembering. Yeah, we want to remember when we were that kid, when we were climbing that tree, or when we were out in that ravine, or picking up that fish, or grabbing for that tadpole, whatever the situation was. That centralized, unique, beautiful person is the original person before a lot of the complexities get thrown on in life. And so in order to actually be honest with ourselves, we're going to have to face a couple of things along the path. But we will. We have all the strength and we have all the knowledge and all the awareness to be able to have this conversation. Our coherence together on this planet is deeply tied to whether you are coherent in your life. Imagine an image of you vibrating in 20 different directions at the simultaneous moment. How much energy does it take to hold 20 of you together versus one? Let's take a look. The science behind that calls forward that if you centralize, it takes less energy to make anything happen. So we're going to get there. I'm glad to get here for this time to be here with you to do it. So let me just go across a couple points on the call to remember. It's very interesting. Perhaps in a dream of starlight or in the silent hour between worlds, a yearning in your blood, a voice beneath the noise of the world. You do not know how you know. You only know you must go. Welcome, initiate. This is what we work with. You're entering the path of the eternal mysteries. This is the mystery school opportunity that we've been waiting for. We built this in a long time ago. Even when I was a kid, the very first thing that I ever wanted for Christmas was a magic kit. And it turns out, learning and knowing magic, seeing sorcerers, working with witches, working with the spiritual, leading consecrated sacred sound, and also working in the dissonance, going to the contrast, the great extremes, all just to find an opportunity. Across the spirals of time in every epoch, there have been those who've heard the call, not with their ears, but with their soul. And they left behind the familiar. They entered the veiled paths, for the mysteries await those who remember. And I would think if we took some time to regress ourselves a little bit more, we would find that our previous cycled lives, we were interested and intrigued about something to find out. I would think consciousness wants to find that out from a source point level. Behind the temples and the tombs, beneath the stories of kings and conquests, there has always been another current, the ancient stream of wisdom. This is not your first walk here. The stars remember you. Now you must remember the stars. The call is the first key. Without it, there is no gate. The soul must choose to awaken. What a great point. The soul must choose to awaken. The soul must choose to awaken. The soul must choose to awaken. Choose to awaken. Choose to awaken. Choose to awaken. Powerful words. Powerful words for the initiate. The initiate's path is done on awakening, with the call to remember. What a great place to awaken in who we are, what we do, what we're precisely doing, and who's telling that story. It's your time now. It's taken a lot to get here, like I said. The resonance and the value of that resonance goes with closing down false concepts, false meanings. The truths are growing exponentially even right now. They're manifesting such abundance that they're overtaking the concepts that were what we would consider a lie, a deception. And isn't it time to be grateful for that? You can see the tipping points occurred. The apex has come and is coming, but there was a tipping point, and some moved past that cosmological wheel and into a space that is, so good. And it's time for that to resonate across the whole grid. Yeah, it's time to reveal that which is hidden. It's time to restore that which has been taken. It's time to dissolve that which is dilutable. And it's time to resonate to a frequency of such great clarity that such great peace and easement become the fundamental and foundational vibration that we would hold in a life. It turns out that we're all vibrating individually, and then we all vibrate together. And we vibrate with that which vibrates. So you can imagine how this goes. We're down the road quite a bit here, and we're getting into topics now that have to do with both remembering and also calling in the return. Okay? The idea was to come here through remembering, gained knowledge, and then begin expressing at the more cleanest operational machine level so that that expression would hold its form through all realm, planetary, interdimensional, quantum mechanical shifts on a planet. And I kind of feel like we're here at that point, and where many of us who are graduated to one degree are now looking at another group graduating at another degree at the same time. So it's a very interesting process. And it happens to us individually when we're ready. We can't force this thing to happen. We would realize very, very fast what using the force will get you. Why did the mysteries arise? Because the universe is not dead matter. It's a living being, and we're living in it. It's kind of interesting. But we forgot. The fall is forgetting. The work is remembering. And know thyself has carved itself above the gate, not as philosophy, as necessity. For when you know thyself, you know the universe. Heck yeah. Heck yeah. There's a centering that has to happen, friends. And there's a lot still more to be revealed in truth. And those things are being uncovered daily and second by second. Just simply because the quantum field has responded, and we will have what we have gained and obtained, and we will not be stolen from. Ooh. In the timeline, it turns out that there's many opportunities and many windows and many doors to observe and to walk through. Because the earth herself is entering the initiation. The great cycle turns. The old structures crumble. The new frequencies rise. The mysteries return because they are needed. You are not alone. You never were. Walk well, initiate. The great work is within you now. Let's have a good time doing it. You're with GP3 on Soul Searching.
Begin, not with answers, but with questions. What is the soul? Where does it go when we hurt? How do we bring it home? If you're here with me, then thank you. Because you're not watching a show. You're joining a journey. We're not searching outside of ourselves anymore. We're all just walking each other home. From confusion to clarity, from fragmentation to wholeness, and maybe from knowing things with the mind to remembering things with the soul. This is just the beginning. I'm GP3, and I'll see you on the road. We're soul searching together.